me also open our YouTube to make sure.
Yeah, studio is always a little jank, so if it says
Uh,
live on the front end, the back end is not aware of it.
okay, hold on. Let me go on my YouTube.
But I don't doubt it. Probably is.
Yeah, I see
Subscription.
it. I see it.
Oh yeah, it
There we
looks
go.
like we're up.
Wow,
Let
you're
me go
live.
on my
Yep.
YouTube. Yeah, we are. Yeah, it's
Wow.
up. Okay,
Here,
good.
let me do the intro this time since I gotta leave it for a second.
Yeah,
Yeah,
introduce
yeah, yeah. Hold on.
the,
Let
the
me
no
let
one.
me let me channel the casual number two for a second. So UFC Vegas 46 was this Saturday. Man, what a banger between Calvin Cater and Giga Chikadze. Uh, I had Cater going into this, so casual number one is gonna have to eat his words. Okay. I'll be back, guys. Bye.
What an intro.
Yeah,
I don't
that
know
was a
how we can top
horrible
that.
impersonation of me. uh, yeah, so we had Cater and Chikadze. Cater, unsurprisingly to me, takes the W. Our other boy, who's now will be back briefly, had said Chikadze. I think most people said Chikadze. Who did you have? Did you have Chikadze?
I had Cater.
You had Cater as well. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, it was honestly a part of it was so again we have the 7-0 nice record with Chikadze, but the biggest guy he had beat was Barbosa, who and I give credit to that as a good victory because
Mhm.
Barbosa had been streaking positively entering that fight. It's not because Barbosa is like slightly older, but it wasn't like he was losing entering that fight and then he beat like a struggling Barbosa. So yeah, he had one good name on his resume, but that was kind of it. And yeah, he beat Cub Swanson too, but okay. Uh, so I understood some of the hoopla, but again, like the lines were I think two in favor of Giga. I didn't think he warranted like a 2.5 to 1, um,
Mhm.
2.5 to 1 line. And then Cater, I mean, pretty much showed that he is what I mean. I remember him being. I mean, yeah, he got absolutely pummeled by Holloway, but then he returned the favor on Giga.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a one off. Actually, if you listen to Anthony Smith yesterday in the post fight, he was like, we don't even consider that in his record because that was like, that's what Max does to everybody. But that's not who Cater is, right? Cater's, I mean, offensively, that's not who he is, but defensively, he did the same thing here. He stayed in the fight 5 rounds. He got hit a lot, but he stayed in it. He kept the volume and he increased throughout the fight, which was awesome. It was a great fight. This
Yeah,
division, man, they just keep pumping out great main events.
yeah. I mean the I was thinking the um, what was I gonna say? Like the output in the during the second round, both guys to me looked like they were, especially Giga, looked like they were kind of getting tired. I guess that
Mm-hmm.
hectic scramble on the ground took a bit of a toll again, especially on Giga, because Giga was kind of he was actually like kind of scrambling. He looked like a fish out of water trying to get out of there at times. So I think he maybe exerted a little bit more energy than maybe he wanted to try
Mm-hmm.
and get out of there, and ultimately he didn't even get out of there. So it kind of ended up not being as worth it, I guess. But it's crazy how just that one slip in the first round completely changed the trajectory of that entire fight.
Man,
Because
I
I
was
was wondering,
thinking,
like, yo, what if he didn't slip? What if
yeah,
he didn't slip? Where would we have been today?
that's
Where would
exactly what I
Cater
was
would his
thinking.
hand have been raised?
That's exactly what I was thinking, right? Because that changed the whole momentum of the fight up till that point. It was just Giga kicking what he was getting liver shots in. He was just landing with the jab and the cross, man. He was getting in there. And then the tables turned. And then if you look at like the volume per round, first round was nothing because they were just sitting on the ground,
Yeah.
right? There was Cater wasn't doing much. He was just switching position, but that was about all he was doing. He was holding him down, and I don't think Giga expected that. I mean, I don't think Calvin did it as either, but um, that was awesome. I liked it.
Yeah, there was I think 11 combined significant strikes in the
Yeah.
first round, and then after that, it was like round one was here, and then it just immediately so the
Yeah.
numbers just absolutely shot up. And the second round was more balanced. We had I think from what I remember it was 49-50
Hmm.
in favor, slight edge to Giga, and then after that it just started to get separated more and more and more until until Calvin at that point was already just running away with it. And they were like very decisive round wins too. I mean, you had one guy that gave it 50-44. I'm trying to find the judges' scorecards now. I'm assuming it
That's
was
2 10-8s,
probably
right?
no, that's 110-8, but I'm assuming that one person, because it was 50-45, 50-45, 50-44,
Oh yeah, I can see that.
and I'm assuming it was probably round 5 is the one I can think of that maybe got that edge as a 10-8, because again that one was pretty dominant too. Judges scorecard. Let's see. Official scorecards. No, not that. So we had 10-8 for the last round was what Chris Lee gave, which I mean, that's not like crazy out there.
No, I mean that makes sense. That, to be honest, that last round, that was pretty rough. The first round was rough as well. I mean, he just kept them on the mat. But that last round with the volume from Cater was crazy, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, go
Does it
for it.
say which round he gave him a 10-8?
Yeah, 5th round.
Okay, that makes sense, right? I mean,
Yeah.
the volume. This dude, everybody said it coming into it, his volume just increases as the fight goes. He's a typical boxer, man, and this guy's as they say, he's the Boston Bomber finisher or whatever.
Yeah, Boston finisher or something like that. Yeah.
Dude, he's even going into the Max fight. That was a close line. I think he was like plus 150 or something.
Was he really that close?
Yeah, it was that close.
Wow.
And going into it, I was like, damn, like I didn't think that would happen. And then obviously he got one of the most lopsided scorecards I've ever seen, and we probably will ever see. I think it was 50-42. One of the judges gave him.
Yeah, it was like Amanda Nunes and Felicia Spencer.
Yeah, dude, he stayed in that the whole time. Honestly, he was just getting pummeled, but he was getting hit with pillows for the whole time. You know, Max isn't a hard striker, but he proved it here again as well. And I thought, to be honest, this would exactly how it played out would happen, where Giga would just tire out pretty quickly. I didn't expect the ground game to happen to tire him out quicker than expected, but by the time you got in the second, Giga looked tired by the middle of the second. I was like, all right. I was like, all right, this is already going to start shifting. And then the third round comes out. It's Cater. 4th round, Cater. 5th round, Cater. 10-8, right? I mean, you saw that in the scorecard, so it's crazy, man. I have respect for both of them. Even Giga, he took so much damage. We've never seen him take this much damage. Right?
Yeah.
He's only gotten out of the first round, 7 times before this or something? Less than half of his fights left the first round. And this dude took damage. I mean, look at right there on the screen. 160 strikes landed, 140 to the head, or something like that.
But, yeah, 130, about 130 to the head, 145 total. Yeah, I was thinking it was like in the 3rd or 4th round. I think it was like the 4th round because the fight was already getting close to finishing. And I'm watching, and I was thinking, I'm like, Cater thrown any leg kicks? everything has been to the guy's head.
Yeah,
I mean, that's his MO. So like nothing crazy surprising there, but it was nice to see a more, I guess, rounded performance there by Cater because you saw some work on the ground. Now again, I'm curious, had that slip not happened, would he have attempted anything else? I mean, actually, I shouldn't say that. He had 7 takedown attempts. 2 of them were successful. So I think if he can continue to do that more, obviously his boxing is great. So I'm not saying like don't box, but adding that other element was like, it was surprising to me to see. And then I like how decisive he was on the capitalization of that slip, because you'll see it sometimes, right, where a fighter slips and the fighter that's standing almost like waits for him to get back up.
Yeah,
I don't know if
it's funny
or if it's just coincidental, but
it's funny. I'm pretty sure Dominic Cruz, or it was Bisping, during the fight, they said, look at Cater. Like, he doesn't jump, right? He always keeps the same motion going towards his opponent. But when that slip happened, he ran towards him.
Yeah.
He ran to capitalize on it, which is, like you said, man, you don't often see that, but he really did capitalize on that slip. And that secured him the first round, which was fantastic because he was losing at that point.
For sure. Hey, so what I was asking to the newcomer who just sat down, I was asking if that slipped if Giga didn't slip, do you think, like, how drastically different do you think the outcome of this fight ends up being?
That's an interesting question, man. Especially considering I don't think it was the slip that did him in. I think it was the pace that he had to set, knowing that Cater can get into the 5th round. I think that
Mhm.
Giga was well aware of it. There's no way he didn't watch the tape of Max and Cater fighting. So I think he was well aware that he had to get this guy out before he got into those later rounds.
I mean, look at that. His eyes are shut.
And yeah, so I think what ended up happening, man, is that he had to dump his tank in the first and second. He seems to have dumped most of it in the first, and then neither of them expected it to go to the ground the way it did, and that kind of just threw him off his balance a little bit. Uh, but it's the strategy I was expecting. I didn't think his conditioning would be that bad, to be honest with you. I mean, he still made it. He still made it to decision, so kudos
Mhm.
there. But he didn't look good on his way to that decision. So
He had like these random little spurts.
Yeah.
yeah,
Giga did, where I guess he was pretty much like conserving his energy to like a little blast, like a little 5-10 second blast. Because you saw it even in the 5th round. There was very brief moments where he started landing some kicks. Uh, it was nothing crazy, and I don't know why Bisping was busting everywhere anytime. Like, of course, yeah, he threw like one punch that kind of grazed the chin. Oh my god, dude, chill. He's down severely, and he
Yeah.
barely inflicted any damage there. There's like 7 seconds left in the fight.
Yeah. I think when he heard his corner say how much time was left, he realized, okay, let me start throwing some flurry of punches and kicks, which made some damage. But at the last 10 seconds of the 5th round, dude, he was on the ground. If there was another 10 seconds, that fight would have been called off, dude. That fight was almost
Yeah,
it
over.
looked like it was gonna be. Because the way Peterson was angling in on that, I'm like, oh my god, dude, it looks like he's gonna wave it off. Like,
I thought he was too.
he started to really come down with those shots towards the end. And dude, I mean, at that point, because the obviously in between rounds, I forget when the serious bleeding started happening for Giga, but in between rounds, obviously they cleaned it up, and then by the time it was again in the 5th round, that thing was just busted. It was just thick and like super, like his entire right side, or yeah, I think it was the right side of his nose was just red. You
Yeah.
didn't even see. You just saw like a blood form of a nose. You didn't even see the nose anymore. So yeah, I mean, look at that picture, dude. He looks like he got sliced up on the forehead. Like
Mhm.
he calls himself ninja. Looks like he got ninja all around his forehead.
Dude,
Uh,
those are all
those
elbows,
elbows were,
bro.
Dude,
yeah,
those elbows. Yeah, I'm glad you
nasty,
brought that
man,
up. Those elbows,
nasty.
the entire fight, he did not let up, and he landed multiple spinning elbows very cleanly. I
Yeah.
loved how those elbows were working, and he kept coming in. He was coming in like this. I mean, exactly. They were coming all different angles. That's why his entire core is all diced up
Dude,
like
one more up and down, north to south, and his whole eye would have just fallen out.
seriously. Just absolutely great utilization of those elbows. It
Yeah.
was such a
Wasn't
great
it
performance overall for him.
wasn't it the Max versus Yair card where all those other elbows were happening too? So
Yeah,
I'm thinking like featherweights, dude, they just love their elbows.
it's
I
obviously a very effective way to use it. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm a little confused about part of Giga's strategy though, because I was watching Cater, and he's got this pressure going, right? It makes sense. Okay, he's a boxer. He wants to keep that forward pressure going. He's got Giga on the back foot, and I'm just looking at Giga trying to trade with him instead of maybe, you know, setting up some bait, taking an extra step back, throwing a front kick. You know, like do something where you know he's coming forward. There's nothing in his mind that's gonna make him not come forward. So use that to your advantage. Set up a trap, but that didn't occur either. And I mean, when you're a kicker, especially, dude, like one just like loose. We saw one. I think it was in the 4th or the 5th. We saw him attempt it once, but by that point he had no gas in it, so it was easily swatted away. But you have an opportunity to set up traps and bait the other fighter, especially when they're that aggressive going forward. So it was just interesting not to see Giga use that to his advantage. I mean, I don't even know if he was thinking at all, like at that point, but
It was just in the first round where, and I think the commentators pointed it out as well, where he was actually moving along with the octagon versus
Mhm.
actually going back. And the only thing I can think of to attribute to why he started to go back is the gas tank, like you were saying. I mean, otherwise, it's not easy to continue going with the flow of motion like the whole time when Cater is coming at you the entire time. After that scramble of 3 minutes on the ground where he just couldn't get up off the mat in the first, I think that really depleted him. And uh, like you mentioned too, earlier that 7 times he's had first round finishes. This was his 17th MMA fight professionally. So obviously hasn't really had to exert all that much energy. And I guess this was his first true test in that regards, a 5-rounder at that, which just kind of went to show that the tank isn't quite there. And we already knew Kattar could hang, especially, I mean, if he took, how many shots did he take from Max? Like 600? And he knew he was still standing.
I think it was like,
insane number.
I think he threw 900, landed within 4 or 5. But
yeah, and he was still coming along with it too. So
yeah. To follow up though, with what you said,
146 total strikes from Max.
attempted.
147 landed.
Yeah.
Jesus, and out of that, 270 to the head. Dude is walking CTE. But to answer, to go back to what you said, what was Giga's game plan going into this? I honestly think he told everybody right before, and this dude has no poker face or anything. He basically said, I'm going to do what Max did, but I'm going to finish it because I throw harder. I'm faster than Max. I'm a better boxer. He tried saying that, right? And I honestly think...
He didn't say I'm the better. He said I'm the best boxer.
Right. And honestly, I think I hear this a lot from the commentators is like, when you're throwing that much and you're hitting someone that hard and they don't back down, mentally, that defeats you, man. When you're just throwing leg kicks, body kicks, head kicks, and then you're just following up with a 1-2, and this dude just keeps putting the pressure on you, that destroys you mentally. And by the second, like we said, Giga was already tired. He was exhausted, man. He didn't even know. He thought that this fight would be over by now.
Yeah, I mean, those first 2 minutes was super impressive, obviously. The angles the kicks were coming from, he was going up, straight up. He was going to the liver. And then the striking, too. And he was so crisp. He was so quick. I was like, man, I forgot how quickly he can throw all of these.
Yeah.
And then just like that, it was
good. Kattar's body was red pretty quick there in the first.
Yeah, you could see it. You could see it on the lower right. The imprint.
So we're thinking it was more psychological than it was physical then?
I think so. He looked pretty defeated.
I think he's saying that regarding in the beginnings when he's landing all of that stuff. I think he was maybe thinking more damage would be inflicted. Dude, honestly, to me, it seemed like he overlooked Kattar. I mean, I don't even think I think it's appropriate to say he did overlook Kattar because already once that whole situation with Max getting hurt occurred where he had to pull out against Volkanovski and then they started, Helwani initially reported it was looking like it was TKZ. That was, I think, earlier in the week, so maybe like 4 or 5 days at least until fight day, as in yesterday. And then Giga's already complaining that they didn't contact him. And I think Dana said it after the fight because they asked him about that. He's like, why would we have offered it to him when he still has to fight? He has someone to fight already. Like, why would we be discussing him fighting someone else? And I know when we did our predictions, we were saying, like, well, in the event that he wins, might they call him? And then, like, I think a day or two after we recorded, they said, no, it's going to be TKZ. But if you're already thinking about the next fight of, hey, why didn't they call me for the title fight? It's like, I don't know, maybe because you're scheduled to fight someone else that's really good. And then the outcome that ended up happening is what happened. And maybe that's why they did it. Like, that was, if I was Kattar, I'd be like, all right, cool. Then you're not even looking at me. So I'm going to walk through you.
Well, yeah. 2 things. Ariel said something nice as well after. He goes, y'all must have forgot about Kattar, dude. At plus 190, this dude just takes damage. He's a punching bag. Look at High Load Average said it, dude. Dude's a punching bag. He just absorbed punches for 5 rounds, 2 straight fights. He's impressing me quickly, man. If he can work on a little bit more maybe power or decisive shots, then he could go for the belt one day. But imagine if Giga would have just passed this fight off, right? And they would have pulled him and taken him to Volkanovski. Volkanovski would have finished him, man.
Yeah.
I mean, if Kattar can almost do it, exactly. Yeah, and I think that was pretty big. But I saw something
this is
funny.
Good for Giga, though, right? Like it's bad that you lose, but it's good that you lose the way you did.
You got humble. You would hope.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah, might as well learn to lose now and then take the belt later.
I mean,
he was talking too much for my liking. I mean, that's while you were away, that's what I was telling AP was he again 7-0 entering, cool, and we talked about this too, but the biggest name he had beat was Barbosa, and that's not to say like that's not a good name because Barbosa was doing well entering that fight. And after that, Cub Swanson, and then everyone else, it wasn't like he was going through the ringer to get that 7 wins. In the end, he still won the 7, so I'm not taking away from that. But the way he was talking, you would think this guy has been beating like some really top contenders in the featherweight division when he truthfully wasn't. He was doing what you should be doing against that level of competition, but at the same time, it was against that level of competition, not to the extent of like a Cater. If he did it against Barbosa, cool, but then Cater is different. That durability is nuts with him, and then you saw it there that he, even in those opening moments, that couple minutes that he was doing what he was doing, it was landing. It was good shots, but Cater was still coming right back at him. So I think he didn't respect him enough, and maybe he might claim that he did, but his words and frankly the way he fought until maybe entering like the third round kind of started to imply like, oh, he didn't realize what he was actually going up against.
Yeah, I think going forward for these guys, man, you got some really good matchups for Giga. And the number one by far, Yair. I want to see Yair versus Giga next. That would be phenomenal, bro. You got two great kickers, guys that know how to use their legs, both durable. Dude, they both just proved it in 2 losses. That would be beautiful. That's what I want to see next. I can't see Yair fighting anybody else. You know what I mean?
Dude, I saw someone, oh man, I wish I screenshotted it. I saw someone tweet a matchup, and I was like, oh, dude, that would be great. Oh, it was Josh Emmett? They said Cater against Brian Ortega.
Yeah, I said that too last
You did? Yeah, that would be fantastic. That would be fantastic.
Honestly, or Josh Emmett too. That would be good as well.
Yeah,
I saw somebody say Josh Emmett. I saw somebody say Josh Emmett.
Could be an absolute banger.
That's a banger. Dude, all these featherweight main events are bangers. We had 3 in a row. You had Yair Max, Brian Ortega, Volkanovski, and now this one that we just had. Bangers, man. And all of them went decision, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, you're correct. I don't know. Maybe do they do Cater and Rodriguez? I don't agree with. Not that I wouldn't want to see the matchup of Giga and Yair, but look at where Yair is, and now Giga might not drop, or he might drop to like 9. Like he's not gonna like precipitously go down. But Giga already fought. He just fought number 5, and then to say he might get a shot at number 3 next, I don't even know if Yair would agree to it. Because I'm assuming Yair probably wants something more closer to the top, so that he can try and get a quick turnaround on a title, which I'm not saying I necessarily agree with, but I don't see him saying, yeah, sure, I'll fight someone 5 rankings below me. Maybe, because again, it would be interesting, but I just don't know if that'll probably happen or not.
Yeah. Well, I guess that would be interesting because you got to figure what's going on with Brian Ortega, what's going on with Yair. Obviously, TKZ, he's going to go for the belt, so that's kind of sad, but okay. Josh Emmett, he just fought Arnold Allen. I think he's going to fight soon.
Yeah, he's going to fight Arnold Allen.
Yeah, and then Dan Ige.
I know he fought soon. He fought recently, but he was also like throwing his hat in the ring, like saying, like, "Hey, give me a call to fight Volkanovski." So,
well, Dan Ige lost, so I don't think they're going to switch rankings there.
No, not Dan Ige. Sorry, if I said Dan Ige, I meant
no, I meant Dan Ige because Giga's 8, 50K is 9, so you're not going to switch spots, and they both lost, and Ige lost pretty bad, if I'm not mistaken.
It wasn't a horrible loss, but yeah. With that point, so he might not really even move, but
yeah, I don't think so.
Some interesting matchups there that can be made. I mean, do you guys have any last stuff to say on the main event?
Yeah, there awesome. Was. Yeah, it was great. After that card, that was a slow card, man. A decision card. Come on, man.
Again, just for decisions are fine, but when they're decisions the way they were, that's where I'm like, what was it? We opened with like 6 decisions, 7 decisions. We had 2 finishes, sorry. Yeah. And then, so 8 decisions and 2 finishes.
Hey, but what a freaking finish that was, huh?
Yeah.
This one right here, we have Collier and Sherman.
Well, hold on. I got one last thing to say about the main. It was a funny way to end it. Somebody said, I'm surprised they didn't cancel the main card. You can't have a main event with no guys with no tattoos. That's so funny. That's such a UFC thing.
I didn't even realize that. That's true. I didn't realize neither of them were tatted.
Yeah.
But like I said, this was, I think, the finish that no one expected, including Collier, for a submission victory, a rear naked choke.
Plus 1,100.
Oh, it was? Yeah, there you go.
Man, so just real quick, I don't remember if we've mentioned this before or whatever, but this guy used to be a middleweight, apparently.
Yeah.
I would never have guessed it, dude.
Yes.
You know
Dude,
what I mean? Like,
pull up the picture, man. Two
Did you
different
guys
people.
did you guys listen to his post fight conference?
Yeah.
So
I did.
yeah, so where he mentioned that he was walking around at 235 and cutting down to 185. Dude, you're cutting 50 pounds. Holy crap, man, that's nuts. And what did he say? He said like he would get to like 205, and then that last 20 pounds was just like pretty much like air coming out of his body.
Oh,
There's nothing less.
this
to
is
even
not
come
the
out.
same person, man. Look at
Oh my god, man, that's crazy. When they said that, I didn't believe them. I was like, why are you guys saying middleweight? Like you're skipping right past light heavy, but dude fought middleweight.
I don't know why I thought I remember them saying welter, but then he kept saying middleweight. So I guess it was middleweight. So I remember incorrectly, but I remember it from because every time he fights, they say it. So he's like, and he used to fight at middleweight.
there you go.
Yeah, what a drastic, and he's even sucking in his gut too. There, it's a drastic transformation.
Crazy, man. Good for him though. I mean, if you don't have to cut weight and you're still finishing guys, good for you. Did he get a bonus? By the
Yes,
way,
he
for
did.
that?
Yeah, he got performance.
Yeah, he did.
He got one of the
There you
performance of the night. It's funny. He weighed in just under the threshold for heavyweight. He went from making it at 185 to barely making it at 266.
And he was talking some game about who was it that they were trying to call him out? Tafa, I think. Tafa, who missed weight. Dude almost missed weight too. He was what, 264 and a half or
he
something.
did miss. Oh yeah, him. Yeah.
Tafa's the only to ever miss weight, and he said, "Oh, you fat ass, you can't make weight." But then this dude almost missed weight too.
Well, he made it in the end.
It was because he threw up that tweet, right, where he was like, "I'm next" or whatever in little emoji bullshits, and then they asked Collier, and he's like, "Well, I mean, if he can make weight, yeah, I'll take that fight. You know, why not?" But he apparently wants Arlovsky, which is interesting.
Yeah, he did say that because he said Chase Sherman fought him, which he did, and lost. And he was saying he'd like to fight him because he's a legend. And Arlovsky's he was scheduled. Actually, he's already scheduled. I'm trying to remember which card it's on, which one of the upcoming cards. I can't remember, but he is scheduled to fight someone already. So that maybe not be it. But dude Arlovsky's been so active too. So maybe even after that, Arlovsky will fight anyway.
I don't want Arlovsky to fight anybody. I feel bad for the guy.
Jared Vandera.
Yeah, that's right. There you go. It's not on here, but you're right. It was Jared Vandera.
He's coming off 2 wins though. He just fought in October. He beat Carlos Felipe.
He's not even taking damage. I think we talked about it after one of his last fights when we were doing a recap. Normally, when they're getting this old, like you'd like to see them stop fighting, but he's winning, and 2, he's not taking like crazy damage.
Yeah, and if you look at his losses, I mean, Arlovsky, dude, Tom Aspinall,
Right
okay,
there,
fine, toss it up, future champ Aspinall. But then you have also Biggie Boy Rosenstruck. Those are not bad losses. So if you think about it, he's got a solid record his last.
Yeah, I mean, look at the last 5. He's won 4.
Yeah,
and he's pretty active, man.
That's a good call out. I mean, that's a big name to take up. You know, he's 42. I get it, but dude's still winning.
Yeah. I'm just trying to protect his brain, man.
He's got that beard to do it for him. Don't worry.
That's true.
If you pull up, can you pull up Collier's fight history? Because you sent this you sent it last night. Posted the expand it. Look at that. Look at the altering win loss. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 altering wins and losses going back to December 2014.
Going back to his UFC debut.
Are you trying to allude to some roulette strategy or something?
Well, it's funny. This was the case with Roxanne Modafferi entering her last fight because she was a super heavy underdog. I think she was fighting Tyler Santos. So, people were like, "Oh, but she's won and lost this many in a row. The last one was a loss. Does that mean this one's going to be a win? Do we go for the underdog here to get that W?" But yeah, I mean, yeah, good. It was an impressive showing from brief, but impressive way to win. But like I put 0 stock in these flabby patties, dude. I don't care. So it means nothing to me. I mean, cool. Glad it was a finish. Glad he got his 50 Gs. But other than that, like it does nothing in the heavyweight division, in my opinion. Nothing.
Yeah. Sherman's has a sub 500 record in UFC, so.
Yeah, I was honestly kind of surprised after his last fight that he was even still around. So, and then he gets a co-main. Why the hell is this co-main?
Because Pereira got, what do you call it?
Yeah, I understand, but you could have thrown the flyweights. Not that one. We'll touch on that too. Or are we done with this one? Maybe we could just jump into that fight now too. Do you guys have anything else to add on these big boys?
No.
Yeah. Okay. So all right, we'll just go into the flyweights. I was gonna say they could have maybe thrown this as the co-main because matchup wise, at least to me, this was more appealing. And then this fight ended up being not that exciting. Not that it was a bad fight, especially compared to the other fights, but it wasn't like when we did our preview. We were saying this could possibly be a fight of the night contender.
Yeah.
It was not even in the realm of that. Again, not a bad fight, but nothing. Look at the outputs. I mean, granted, it's because there was a lot of control time by Bontarin, so that's why you weren't seeing too much striking going on. But that's the thing. I was hoping for more of that back and forth, and we just didn't really get it.
I mean, what was interesting to me is how, like you said, like we saw a lot of control time from Bontarin, and Royval couldn't really do anything when Bontarin was sitting on top of him. I mean, they had some moments where they were scrambling, but for the most part, it seemed like he was just stuck in place.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side of it, when he managed to get on top of Bontarin, he was seemingly keeping Bontarin in place. So it was weird to see that. And even at the end of it, the way Royval was talking, he wasn't happy with his performance. He
shouldn't be. Neither of them should be.
Yeah. I mean, I was going into this with high hopes, really high hopes. So I was kind of let down.
So what is he ranked, 4 or 5? And this is how
Bontarin was 5, Royval 7, or other way around. But Royval was 5, Bontarin 7.
Yeah, and dude, he arguably, if it was any other judges, he could have lost with that control time, dude. 8 for 9 on the takedowns. I get it, he had a lot of strikes, but still, man, I was not impressed. And the dude was coming off or trying to make his way to get into the top 10, right, or the top 5 to get into the fight for the belt. But dude, after I saw that, I'm like, the guy has he doesn't stand a chance against Pantoja, Askarov, Figueiredo, Kai Kara France. Come on, man, he does not stand a chance.
No, after that performance, it wasn't a good one. Now, I wouldn't completely write him off yet because I don't know, maybe he wasn't prepared. I was expecting more of a back and forth on the feet versus what we ended up getting on the ground. So maybe he was also thinking of it that way. It wasn't as prepared because some of the ways he was taken down by Bontarin, he was just absolutely ragdolled. Like I remember distinctly one where Bontarin pretty much like almost had him like in the frontal like this and just throw him on the ground.
I saw a stat come up on the screen. Bontarin, it was 7 takedowns in that fight, and on his 7th takedown, he had basically done more takedowns in that fight than he had in his entire career. I think it was.
Yeah.
So that goes to show you. I mean, maybe this is good for Royval. Maybe it exposed something that he may not have been aware of either.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, and what's interesting is both men, most of their finishes are by submission. So you would imagine some ground defense would have been a little bit more improved on the Royval front. He didn't even attempt any takedowns. So there was also, we should also touch on, I forget which round. It was maybe in the 2nd round or was it the 3rd round where Royval had that armbar and Bontarin, it was the 3rd round.
Ooh,
so Bontarin,
scary.
Royval was pretty much hanging onto his arm and Bontarin was standing. And I'm watching that, and then I saw that one tap, and then he didn't do it. I don't know if that was a tap. I don't know if you're supposed to call that a tap. I'm not sure what the actual rules are from the referee's perspective, from the referee's point of view. If any kind of motion like this means you're supposed to call it or not, because if it's up to his discretion at that point, I don't think it was a bad no call because it was just one. It wasn't like with a brief pause between the two. But if you're supposed to call it after just that, then yeah, it was a missed call. But otherwise, I didn't think it didn't look like to me like, oh man, he missed something there.
I don't think it was see, that one's weird too because initially I also thought it was a tap. But like when they showed it from the other angle, it looked like I don't know, like he was maybe trying to grab and then reconsidered what he was doing.
I don't know what he was doing.
Well, in any case, the post-fight thing, they were talking and they were saying that that in certain, I guess,
BJJ
jiu-jitsu tournaments or whatever, it's one tap is enough, but it has to be decisive, which honestly doesn't make sense to me because it's like you can accidentally slap your hand down. You would think that you'd need at least like a couple, make it clear, like, no, dude, I'm out of here.
Yeah, well, if you look at all the taps in the UFC, these guys are frantically tapping, right? You're not tapping once and expecting the ref to shut it down, These guys are tapping for their lives, dude. They're tapping like they got they're doing a taps per minute contest. You know what I mean?
I mean, regardless of that, so let's say fine, it truly wasn't a tap. Uh, I don't know where I stand on the decision of Royval being the winner.
Yeah, bit controversial, huh?
Honestly, I
Yeah.
would have been fine with the draw, to be honest.
Look, I know the third round was in favor of Royval, but I don't know. I think one of the guys was it Bisping. Someone threw out like as a maybe a 10-8 in that round, or I might be mixing it up with another fight. But I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was like a 10-8. So if
No.
anything, I thought maybe rounds 1 and 2 you could have said it was Bomper, and then round 3 was Royval. But again, the activity wasn't quite there, even in that control that Bomper had. So that's kind of why it was a little tricky for me to be very adamant of no, this was a bad ruling on the cards. It should have been Royval. It's just it was very fuzzy. The whole thing was very fuzzy. Like in terms of the outcome, like I don't like this was 5-7, 5-1, but like this didn't really provide any clarity to me in terms of yes, he should be number 5 right now after that performance. And then the actual outcome of well, did he actually truly get a win? It was weird. It was just a lot of I'm left with more questions than answers after the result of this fight.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Because then I looked at Royval's record. He beat Kai Kara-France. He submitted him, and he beat Tim Elliott. So, and then he comes out. Oh, he loses to Brandon Moreno. Okay, he loses.
He got
to,
hurt. I think against Moreno was more because of the injury.
He his shoulder. Yeah.
I mean, but in the end, he got the win, so good on him. I'm not. While it was an underwhelming performance by both men. I don't think it was indicative of what they are capable of. Obviously, we've seen what they can do. It was just sometimes those happen where those like on paper those good matchups where like they should be a banger, they just come out and it's a snooze fest. It happens sometimes because I think even both guys know like this guy's good and the guys think that guy's good, and then maybe they come out a little bit more timid. I mean, not to say Bontrain was timid because again, the takedowns were there. It's just the activity, the utilization with the ground control. I thought didn't really correlate with the number of times he was getting in those.
I was impressed with the ground game from both of them, but yeah, the stand-up game was a little bit one-sided.
That's our co-main. Any last tidbits on those guys? Oh, sorry, not the co-main, our third fight, but third on the main.
Co-main.
I have nothing to say about this. So I don't care.
I have one thing to say. So what's interesting is, okay, clearly Chukagian's going to have to fight Valentina at some point, right?
Actually, interesting you brought that up. So this was the last fight on her deal, and they were asking Dana about it, and didn't really give an answer. Like he was asking, like, "Are you guys keeping her?" He's like, "Oh yeah, this was her last fight, so she's technically a free agent." And he was saying that she has to talk with Mick Maynard about it. Like they're working on it. Like he didn't really seem that committal. So I don't even know if she's actually going to be in the UFC beyond it.
Yeah,
she
has a funny record. She has a very funny record, right? So she loses to Valentina coming into that pretty hot. And then she beats her sister, right, that same year. And then she goes, and that's 4-1 after her title shot. So she's arguably one of the top contenders right now for Valentina at, what is this, 125? So, and now she's a free agent. It's like, all right, well, if I was the UFC, I'd want to sign her, but.
I wouldn't because, look, she's won 3 in a row, which I didn't even realize because there's such boring fights.
Yeah.
Nothing is happening in her fights. It's almost like just like points. She just collects points, gets the win.
Go back to
that is what she does.
Go back to that ESPN screen. I think all of her, the only time she gets out of the first round is if she loses. Well, I guess that's Jessica Andrade. But if it's not a decision, she loses. Literally. Except, what is that? 1 win? Okay, she has 1 loss as a decision and then 1 KO with a knee.
I don't believe that. That's fake news.
And the thing is, after that Jessica Andrade one, like she like completely like fell out of like my eyesight because the way she got, it was like a liver shot or something, I don't know what, and then she like turned her back in the middle of the fight, like started walking towards the back. The fight wasn't done, the fight wasn't called. She just like turned her back and started like I'm looking, I'm like, what the hell are you doing? The fight's still going on.
I mean, to your point about letting her go or whatever. Well, you wouldn't let her go. Her contract's done, right? But who else are you gonna have? Look at the division on the right hand side there. I mean, you have Andrade. She's number 2 contender. Lauren Murphy, whatever. Jennifer Maya, we just saw her get destroyed.
Get rid of her too.
Tyler Santos, who we've talked about. Now that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Arau, I'm not even gonna try to. Vivian, I don't even want to try to pronounce that. Jessica I, maybe.
No.
Potentially.
No.
And then who else?
Didn't they say
Casey O'Neill and what's that other girl's name? The one, Erin Blanchfield. Those are the only two.
She's a beast, man.
Those are the only two I can think of that are gonna, maybe be something.
Manon Fiorel's a good boxer. She's great.
Yeah, Fiorello, and her.
Thing.
Like I don't think again. Who's
Misha Tate? Misha Tate. She's moving down to fight.
Lauren Murphy. Yeah, I don't know if that's like a permanent move though, or if it's just like a one-off.
Well, if she wins, maybe it is.
Regardless, I mean, I don't. Again, with these women's divisions, again, outside like the top 2-3 of each division, for the most part, I don't care. Like none of them add anything, in my opinion, because the fights are uneventful, boring, and how they were yesterday. So it means nothing to me. It means nothing if they keep her or not. Like I don't think it adds anything, and I don't think it takes away anything. Because yes, she's won 3 in a row. Congratulations! But if you're winning the way you're winning, like no one cares. Most of the guys, most of the people that watch UFC are men. No one cares to watch her. I mean, there might be some simps that care to see her, but other than that, when she's yelling every time she throws a damn kick, like you just want to freaking turn the damn thing off and wait, or go take a smoke break and then come back. So I don't know if they keep her. If they do, great. If they don't, great. I don't care either way.
Yeah. I don't know so much if they have a choice, man. I mean, like it's not like there are many fighters in these divisions, in the female divisions, anyways. So it's like to thin it out. Like if you're cutting people that are performing well, like is that the right?
Can we say she's performing well though?
I think so. Yeah,
she's winning. But are they good performances? I don't think so.
I mean, they're usually unanimous decisions, though. I'll say that.
Who else are you gonna get? You know what I mean? Because a lot of these fights go to decision in any of the women's divisions. Like it's only the top like 3 that end.
That's why I would say get rid of all of them. eight women in each division at the most. Get your prime 8 and keep them. The rest are absolute trash.
Yeah,
absolute trash. Whatever. Yeah, maybe a hot take. I don't think so. I think most guys couldn't care less.
I mean, you have what is that on the second row there? Is that pound for pound best women?
I think that's pound for pound, or no, strawweight apparently.
Women's pound for pound. The second one with Valentina there, right? I mean, that basically shows the top 10. They're basically the only actual women to look out for. But you have Caitlin Chikagan as a top 10, pound for pound. I don't know what she's throwing pound for pound.
That's a joke.
Yeah. I'd have Blanchfield in their top 10, dude. She's been tearing it up.
It's just because her and O'Neal are still relatively new.
Yeah, and Maverick.
Maverick phenomenal, but her stand-up was so egregious against Marina Rodriguez.
Oh my god. Well,
Marina Aldana's got good boxing, but again, nothing. Like I said, it's like the top 5 in each one, and you got like right there. We counted like maybe about 10 or so that you're.
And a lot of them are aging out too, right? But it's nice to see that there's some young women MMA fighters coming through. Blanchfield, Maverick. And then you mentioned that other one, I forget what her name. O'Neal. Yeah. That's 3 good solid prospects coming up.
Well, that's for flyweight, right? But strawweight, I think, has some more potential prospects like Amanda Lemos, Amanda Ribas, Jandarova. She's terrifying.
Ooh. Never know where she's looking.
Exactly.
All right, congratulations, Chukagin. We'll see if we see you in the UFC.
I'm curious to see if she's ever gotten a performance bonus because, oof.
If she did, it was a real bad card. Slava Claus against Dakota Bush.
Is that actually how you pronounce his name?
Slava?
Apparently.
Yeah, because look at the spelling. Like, Slava Claus. How do you get to that from that spelling?
Well, Slava Claus is his fight name.
Oh.
Literally like Santa Claus, but it's Slava Claus.
Dude, because they were calling him that. When I'm looking at the guy's name on the title card, and I'm like, that's not his name. Why
They're trying to focus in on it. Am I missing letters? Am Am I dyslexic?
I was like, wait, I know in Russian you have like the different letters have different pronunciation.
Hey, this is one of your LFA fighters, bro.
Oh man, I
L-
was
L-
wearing the
LFA
hat for this one, man.
LFA fighter, contender series winner.
This was like the only exciting finish.
Dude,
Like
what
the
a-
Collier
what a
one was
KO.
like a clumsy looking one, but this one, man, that left shot to the body was booming.
Jeez. Oh, it should come up right here in the video. Yeah, let's see it, dude. We've seen a lot of
What's happening, video?
solid body shots in the card, but man, this one was standout.
Just right to
One,
the liver,
two,
man.
bam,
Oh,
drops
God.
him. And then the dance after, oof, put a stamp on it.
Hey.
That's absolute insult to injury.
Yeah.
As if it's not bad enough to lose and you get that done on you in the middle of the octagon.
Dude's gonna be chugging vodka right after too.
So you just press crouch,
Oh,
crouch,
man, that
crouch,
thing is
crouch,
brutal.
Yeah,
Woo.
beautiful, man. What a solid prospect coming through. Dude kind of came out of nowhere. Contender series.
This
He
was
got a
his.
knockout there,
Was
too.
this his debut?
He had a contender
Well,
series.
he won the
This is
contender
his debut.
series, and then
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah, again, lightweight. We
4 straight. Look at that. TKOs.
is that one split decision? Was that his first loss? If we expanded, or
Yeah.
did he have fights before that?
He's 6-1.
Okay, so not too many professional fights, but yeah, could be the guy to keep an eye on. I mean, lightweights, you have Paddy Pimblett in there too.
Mhm.
Honestly, you even have the guy that Paddy fought. He was fighting pretty well. Luigi Van Luigi, I forget his name. A lot of good stuff in the lightweight division too. So you can add him to the list.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we didn't get to see much out of it, but what we did get to see definitely put Borshev on my radar.
Mhm.
I'm kind of excited to see his fights going forward. I think I'm gonna end up watching that Dana White Contender Series fight because now I'm curious how he performed there. But yeah, man, that was impressive. He seems like a cool dude too. I always like seeing guys that got like that kind of nice personality. You know, being able to have that kind of like impact and now are being put in front of the cameras. Like that's cool.
Dude, the guy he beat on Contender was undefeated. He was 7-0. Chris Duncan.
I think I remember the fight. I may have watched it. I don't remember if I caught that week or not, but it kind of sounds familiar.
He's fun though. Like he's got a personality. You know what I mean? Dude isn't.
Yeah.
He's not like a Makachev coming up, and dude doesn't even just sits there and expects them to do all the work. You know what I mean? He's got a good personality. He does the dance. He does the show. Right? This is a show, and dude can sell seats. You know what I mean? If they ever have a Russian card, throw this guy on there right under Piotr Yan.
Co-maining with Piotr Yan.
I mean, him, Volkov. You know what I mean? They could have a solid Russian card. They've been saying they want to go back to St. Petersburg.
Yeah, Russia card would be stacked. You gotta be also good.
Yeah.
off.
that would be
UFC
awesome,
St.
man.
Petersburg?
Yeah, they want to do it. They've been
No
trying.
way.
Yeah.
I thought for sure it would have been UFC Dagestan before anything else. Man.
Where are they gonna fight in the fields?
The
You
uranium
win.
mines, bro.
You win 6 goats. All expenses paid passed to the spa.
Oh, jeez. Minimum 8 men per tub. Okay, let's see who fought before this. I don't remember. Aljo and
Fan favorite, Aljo.
This wasn't a bad fight.
No, it was a lot of back and forth and a lot of scrambling. It was fun, but it was a
I
little
gotta
bit
tell you,
one-sided
I'm never
towards the end.
listening to AP again because he's like, oh, Brito's gonna win. He's gonna take it. Blah, blah. I'm like, all right, Brito will take it. All right. No, Brito did not take it.
Did you throw your life savings on him?
No, I didn't do anything, man. But had I, this guy always has the worst takes, dude. Worst takes. Oh, that was a 10-8 round. That was a
Dude,
10-8 round. No problem.
Tapology. I went 10 for 12 on Tapology this week with picks of finishing. Come on, bro.
Who are the two that you didn't pick right?
You basically
Let me pull it
bullshit
up.
to your buddies is what you do. You tell us
No.
one thing and then you go and pick something else.
He gives
Cater?
us picks that he doesn't have the balls to take.
Yeah.
All right, I picked Cater decision, Collier decision. I didn't hit that. Royval decision, Chikagan decision, Borshev first round TKO. I hit that. Brito decision. I had missed both of those. Holmes, I missed that. I said he would sub him. Pickett in a second, but Pickett was nice. We'll talk about that next. McGee decision, Kelleher decision, Brown decision. I hit all those.
Listen, you freaking casual. I got a question. So, are you using Tapology to track like how you can actually plug in before the fight what you think is gonna happen? Is that what?
Yeah, so it gives
So
you
that's why you
three
guys
options.
don't use the spreadsheet.
Yeah, dude, and my Tapology is 70%, over 200 picks.
Okay, freaking weird flex, but whatever.
Hey, that's solid, bro. 139, 62, and 2. That's solid.
So, does it also let you track your? Let's say if you did like bets and stuff, would you be able to plug that into there, or it's just gonna
I
be
don't
like
think so.
takes
There's
off
another
over
website. I
under?
think it's called MMA Bets. What it does is it just lets you choose, okay, who's the winner and how do they win and what round. If it's decision, it eliminates the round, but you can pick specifically, and then like you get points. It gives you a belt. You upgrade as you do more picks. It's fun. I mean, it's a good way to track. You can even talk to people back and forth. You can challenge people weekly to see who does better. But I just kind of keep to myself and make my picks.
For sure. Yeah, well, because I was enjoying it when we had that spreadsheet going. It just became a little tedious in that spreadsheet, I guess. So if there's another way we can do that, I'm all for it, man.
I'm gonna do the
like being able to
spreadsheet.
see.
I'll do the spreadsheet for this upcoming card because it's a big one. And then if we want, we can even plaster it up here to show how we did, or even beforehand in your preview. If you guys want to do the, I don't know when I'll have the spreadsheet ready, but you can do the even showing your picks on the card, on the sheet.
Doable. So on this one, I don't really have anything else to really say. It was cool. Algio, funny call out at the end.
Yeah.
He might take it back. Well, actually, no. He was saying if Cater beats him, I'll take him or something.
Yeah,
and then,
but sorry, dude. There's too much action up there in the top 10.
yeah, this guy's not even ranked, is he?
No, I don't think so.
So I don't know. I don't get where that was coming from.
He's, from what I understand, he's kind of a fan favorite, though. I think he trains with the Dawkises in Philly.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I couldn't really. I woke up, I think, middle-ish of that fight because I fell asleep. I didn't realize who he even was, so I don't remember who he is.
Actually, he fights out of his own gym, LGL MMA and boxing. And kickboxing. Wow, that's
Is
crazy.
he like his garage? He just put like an LLC on it.
I'm looking right now, it's loading. No, there's no real names on it. It's just him.
Yeah, you gotta get a different name, bro. It's not
In Pennsylvania.
Who did he fight before?
Senor Perfecto. What a very bad
Ricardo
name.
Ramos.
Oh, he fought very recently.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, not very recently.
No, that's May. He fought once last year.
Yeah, I don't remember him. So I won't pretend I do.
I remember watching him fight. I just don't remember it being something. I mean, and look, decision. So we probably
Decision fighter. Yikes.
Yeah, we were napping probably.
Alternating wins and losses too, and then comes out, calls out Giga. Cool.
Yeah, good luck.
God, this is another one of those dudes, man. You get into the UFC and then it's just decision. Whereas prior to UFC, dude, he was getting subs, he was getting TKOs, KOs.
Just shows the quality of matchups. It's the matchups quality. Actually, if you look at Giga's kickboxing record, he fought all cans. But I mean, given he was 7-0,
well, he's represented by Ali.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains a lot.
Yeah.
Ali, alhamdulillah, Abdelaziz.
Ali, here's some cans of Abdelaziz.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. Good job, Algio. And then who do we have? Yeah, I fell asleep during this, so I'll let you guys go for it.
I really don't have much to say. I fell asleep during this as well.
Dude,
I think
Holmes,
AP had mentioned some stuff, but
so coming into it, Holmes, Bisping was hyping him up, dude. He was hyping him up a lot.
Yeah,
Bisping was full of bad takes yesterday.
Yeah, he was. But dude, they were hyping this dude up a lot.
He had 5 years of high school, so.
Oh yeah, Bisping did, yeah.
Yeah, because what did they say? They asked him like, "Oh, Bisping, you can spell or something like that," and he's like, "Yeah, 5 years of high school."
Jeez, did you guys notice he kept calling Calvin Kelvin?
Yeah, he does that a lot. He's not good with the names, but dude, coming into this, Holmes was 7-1. All of his wins were either KOs, submissions. He has a couple decisions, but he's Contender Series winner, Fury FC winner. But then he comes into this, and dude, Jamie Pickett, in my opinion, he's been looking real bad. He's just a slow, boring fighter coming into this. Nothing really impressed me about him in his
Nothing
last few fights. Yeah, exactly. And he had some bad losses to Chukwi, Jordan Wright. And then he beat Strapoli. He beat this dude Holmes. But honestly, I wasn't impressed by either of them. But if anything, I was impressed more by Pickett. He really stepped up. He did a lot in this fight to win it. And honestly, it was a deserved unanimous decision, in my opinion. I thought Holmes could take it, but dude looked like his hands were down. He looked defeated pretty quick. It was embarrassing, man.
Holmes was the feature of that YouTube series that they do with Dana, Matt Serra, and Dean Thomas. They're looking for a fight or whatever, and they released the episode earlier this week. And because, like you mentioned, Holmes won on the Contender Series, but then I remember after he won, Dana said, like, go win one more fight and then we'll talk. He did. He went. He won the fight. He got a finish, and then they bring him up, and then he loses anyway. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. So I can't speak to if his performance warrants like another shot or maybe another shot down the line. So obviously, I was snoozing, but that sucks. You get a feature on YouTube and then you just come out and lose. GG. All right, who do we have?
Move along.
Yeah, I mean,
dude, this was a good fight, man.
This was a good fight.
I had fun watching this.
Yeah, this was a good fight. I like this fight. Very nice performance there by McGee. I thought, how does he? Can we pull up his profile real quick? Because I think he's a little bit older too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he is.
37. Dude, great performance, man. This was a good fight. I liked what he was doing. He was very aggressive. It was pretty in his favor, but I thought Brahimaj had some moments too where he was doing pretty solid. But overall, very nice controlling performance by McGee.
Yeah, well-deserved unanimous decision. His nickname fits him, the Crusher. Dude, he crushed him the whole fight, just sat on him, wore him down. I mean, Brahimaj coming into this, he was a pretty solid prospect, young kid coming up. Even Andrew was saying, like, dude, he's young, he's got a lot.
He likes him, yeah.
But, man, McGee is just holds him down, and he just tears your soul piece by piece.
I really, really didn't expect it because I started watching McGee right about, I think it was this fight against Carlos Condit is when I saw him, and I had picked McGee, to win that fight. That didn't pan out, and the performance I saw was like bad. And then his next fight against Silva, I was like, okay, it's a little bit better, but it still didn't like impress me. Like I was writing him because I'm like, oh shit, Ogden, Utah. I lived there for almost a year, man. Like I'm like, I think I've gone to the bar with this guy before. Like. Yeah, of course I'm going to pick this dude. And then it was just not going well. But this fight is what I had been expecting. And especially against Brahimaj, who is an up-and-comer, dude. He's somebody to watch. So, yeah, good on him, man. Like, I think, I don't know. I don't know about a belt or anything like that.
No.
But gatekeeper for sure, dude.
Yeah, he's a good gatekeeper, you're right. Because Brahimaj is coming up. And dude humbled him, See where they go from here.
We saw a lot of that this card, man. Like a lot of up and comers got humbled, and
that's what
they're gonna.
I think that's what these fight nights are. You know what I mean? It's a lot of like,
okay, we got some losses.
Another roulette guy, man.
There's a lot of that this card.
Yeah, it's like the third one I think we saw. Good job, Court McGee. Another win for the oldies.
Wow.
Who we got before this?
Another oldie.
Yeah.
This was rough.
It wasn't a bad fight. It wasn't a great fight.
Guy. Yeah, 35.
I was impressed by Kroon. His striking in the beginning was solid, man. He was keeping Kelleher at bay.
Especially with 3-day notice, too.
Yeah, he was keeping him at bay. And then Kelleher just brought in the wrestling and closed it out. I mean, I don't know what else more there's to say. It shows right there 6 for 8.
6 takedowns, man. That's nuts.
My biggest takeaway with any Brian Kelleher fight is how egregious that chess piece is. Like, isn't it bad enough that poor man was crucified and then you have someone else just put that piece of crap tatted all over you? Like, just horrible.
How do I expect that? I gotta
probably used it to cover up his swastika tattoo.
just an absolutely horrendous depiction of Jesus Christ. Yeah. And then his chest hair doesn't help whatsoever. On top of that, it was just every time I see him, I'm like, oh my gosh, we got to see this pile of crap on his chest.
Let me expand. Let me get this.
Probably growing his beard out to go.
Oh man, if the boom wasn't there, that would have been perfect. You could have seen it. Oh, it's just rough, dude.
Major oof.
It looks like one of his friends did it in the garage or something, man. Just awful. Yeah, so this was a featherweight. I think they were saying Keller had been fighting at bantam entering, and I believe they took it at feather just because there's a 3-day notice. It was probably easier for Kroom to make that weight because Kroom fights at 145 by default, if I'm not mistaken. And then, but again, yeah, I mean, with that short of a notice, it wasn't a bad showing by Kroom, but Keller did, I think, what was expected. The lines, I think, were 3-1 in his favor as well. So,
yeah, Kroom's got a rough record, but dude always goes out there and bangs. From what I'm seeing and who he's fighting, Alex Caceres. He beat Derek Minner in LFA. Charles Bennett. I mean, he's got some solid numbers, but I'd like to see him fight again. Honestly, he showed some pretty good class, taking a short notice fight, and then he started striking a bunch.
But, this was only his third UFC fight.
Yeah,
it wasn't just short notice either. This was 3-day notice.
Yeah,
this is
crazy.
Like,
I hope that dude got paid.
Probably got like bag of Cheetos. Yes.
Stale Cheetos.
It was already open. They just like kind of wrapped it up.
Yep. Here you
go. Gets Dana White's leftover drink tickets, man. That's what it is.
Oof.
Jesus. At the Golden Nugget. Not even on strip.
One free Corona. Here you go.
Okay. Who do we have before? We have one more, I think, before this. Right. This card was absolutely decimated as well.
Yeah, it got shit on.
Just got gutted. And I was looking at the card entering the fight. I was like, entering entering Saturday. I was like, oh, man, I have a bad feeling it's gonna be a crap card.
I thought this one though was in terms of grappling was a banger, dude.
Yeah, that was very interesting. Again, and another guy, 3-day notice, Charles Rosa. Yep. Congratulations on, I guess, being able to do it.
He's the dude that broke up the alternating streak. He was alternating as well to go to his record, but now he has 2 losses in a row. Everyone else that was alternating hit except for him.
He expanded a little more. It goes a little bit.
Oh my god, that's good. Since 2014.
Dude, he's been in the UFC for almost 8 years.
What are you doing, my guy?
He's old.
Did you guys? Was it just me or did he seem slow? Like he seemed like he was moving around kind of slow.
He's always that way.
Slow. I think methodical.
Methodical, nice euphemism.
Well, especially because they're grapplers, right? They're ground fighters.
No, I'm talking about when he was standing. Like he looked.
Like trying to say this dude has extra chromosomes or what?
Yeah, kind of. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he'll still recover from the weight cut. But I mean, also I said this: you can't call yourself Boston Strong and then not train in Boston. That doesn't work. It's funny. Bruce is like belting his lungs out. Charles Boston Strong Rosa fighting out of Boca Raton, Florida. It doesn't work, dog.
Isn't that after the bombing, the Boston Strong? Maybe I don't know. Maybe he's from there or something. But you're totally right.
He is from
it's
there.
Embarrassing.
He's from there. Yeah.
Awkward. Awkward, man.
But like you were saying, though, it was a nice grappling performance. TJ Brown was looking very nice, and Rosa has. I mean, you see it there. He's got 8 wins by submission, so it's not like the threat is completely neutralized when he's on his back. He was trying to do some stuff there too. So it's a good win for Brown. I think was Brown one of the Contender Series guys as well. Can we double check that? I think he recently won on there, maybe in 2019.
2019.
Yeah. So wins the Contender Series, loses his first 2, and then has won his last 2. Kai Kamaka is not bad competition.
Yeah.
Charles Rosa.
Kai Kamaka's. I mean, he's not even in the UFC anymore. So
Bellator. So I mean, good on him, man. If you lose your first 2 and then they still give you a shot, then you win your next 2. And then again, this was a nice performance from him. So, and what are they at? 145, I think. Are these guys
155?
They're 155. Okay, yeah. So, good luck making much headway in that division. It's already pretty stacked, but good for him. I think his cornerman, if I'm not mistaken, was James Krause. I think he had 3 fights yesterday, 2 or 3 fights.
No, he had 5, and he went 2 for 3.
He had 5?
He went 2 for 3 yesterday.
This was the James Krause card. What the hell?
Yeah. They said it was a very bad start to 2021 for Cross.
Yeah,
or 2022.
2 and 3. Yeah, it's a little rough.
Actually, no, they did fight at 145. I'm seeing it on Tapology.
Yeah, because I think I remember Rosa being 145 because I think Rosa's fought.
Wait, no, it says lightweight right there. It says lightweight. Maybe it was like a last minute thing because
maybe. Actually, yeah, that makes sense. Rosa, because since he had 3 days, I guess he could make weight at 1.
Actually, I think that's right because I heard TJ Brown talking about it after, saying he was ready to weigh in at feather.
Rosa probably wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, 3 days notice, whatever. If you can make it work, make it work.
Yep.
Get your payday, get your money. But I'm looking on Tapology. There's 11 fights that were scheduled, but they all got canceled. And given some of them were mixed between the same fighter, like TJ Brown, Gabriel Benitez, but this was the original. But there were 11, man. That's crazy. Rough. This COVID is tearing everything apart. And Demopolis, that was like a last-second COVID. That's going to be on next week's card.
Unfortunate another woman's fight. I would have rather knocked that one out on this card.
Yeah. I'm just mad we didn't see.
That's Vegas 46. Underwhelming, but we had a fantastic main event.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell it's underwhelming by the bonuses, Only 3 bonuses given out. Oof. That usually tells you a rough card.
Yeah.
We don't have to go into detail, but we can briefly touch on this. I mean, good that Pereira got rescheduled. Good for him, I guess. And then
Spivak.
This banger.
That fight's not happening, by the way.
Which one?
Spivak, or at least it's not going to be with Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy put up a picture that his hand was all bloodied up. Probably beat another woman, unfortunately, or something.
Jesus Christ.
True.
But at least he's not going to be there. And Spivak was already a replacement for someone else. So I don't know if they'll scrap that or if they're going to find someone else. Either way, I don't care.
Is that one of Khabib's cousins?
No. He's actually, I think he's Is he Moldovan? I can't even see the flag.
It's Russian.
No, that's he's from Dougie.
Oh, he is?
Yeah,
Spivak?
No. Nurmagomedov.
Nurmagomedov.
Spivak is Moldovan, yeah.
Yeah. So I got to be honest. I'm not crazy on this card outside of the top 2 fights.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weak preview to start the year, in my opinion.
Well, you got Topuria against
that one. That one ended up being a banger.
That's going to be a banger. That's possible fight of the night right there.
I don't know.
It's not updated there, but that's going to be Charles Jourdain.
Yeah. Remember Andrew Charles Jourdain? He was the one that when they were fighting, what did he do? Man, what was it?
Samurai kick.
Yeah, man.
300 kick.
Yeah, that was awesome to end the
fight. Was like what, 3. That was on the last card of the year or the one before that, I think.
Matt Frivola, okay. Yeah, weak prelims, which I'm surprised.
I'm looking forward to that Morales and Giles fight, though.
Oh, yeah. What is he? He's Colombian?
Yes.
Damn, 170.
Yeah, but other than that, again, it's kind of a weak supporting cast.
Yeah, I mean, the last few pay-per-views have stacked from top to bottom. And then they come up with this, which I'm not impressed with. But those top two fights, man, those are enough to pay for a pay-per-view.
I'm actually I'm not going to pay the $75 for this. So I'm just going to go to Buffalo Wild Wings and get a Diet Coke and then just watch the fight there, because I can't justify paying $75 for this. Although I'm very excited about those 2 title fights, the rest is just.
I don't care so much for this as I do for this.
I agree.
This one over here,
not that I don't care about that one, but
my gut says that Ngannou gets a 10-second knockout against Cyril Gane, just overhand right, knocks him, and that's
overhand rights are default pick for a knockout.
Yeah. And then this one is interesting because, for starters, I'm kind of thinking well, why?
Yeah.
But then it makes sense. The first one drawed out. Moreno wins the second one, so then the third one is supposed to be the definitive.
That's the thing; it doesn't make sense. But we'll talk about it.
It doesn't make sense to me personally,
we'll talk about it,
but it makes sense for the promotion to do it.
Man, both of these fights are a big question mark to me, because, like you said, dude, if Moreno loses and then it's 1-1, do they go for a fourth one? Yeah, probably not. But can Figueiredo even make weight? I'm pretty sure he said he's going to move up to 135 after the last loss, and then they gave him this, and I was surprised.
Yeah, his weight cuts are rough.
Yeah, very rough. Dude is yoked.
Which is here's what I'm curious about too. Why would this be the headliner? Nobody knows who these guys are. But
What are you
this
saying?
one
Wait,
is
which one are you talking about?
That's where
Ngannou and
What?
Gon.
Why would a heavyweight title fight be the headliner?
I have a different take on this. Like to me, and it seems like heavyweights get pushed a lot, but to me, I don't care about heavyweights. I think
I
that
don't
the
either, but
division
these guys
sucks.
are no, these guys are bigger draws.
Mhm.
These two
Then
specifically would
then
be a
the
bigger draw
entirety
than-
of Mexico and Brazil. Are you joking?
Well, Cameroon.
in
Are you
Anaheim.
serious right now? You're gonna compare the entirety of the country of Mexico and the entirety of the country of Brazil watching this fight versus where are these people? France? Are you kidding me?
Hold on.
Come on,
Well,
dude.
you
That
got to
doesn't
think
make
about
any
it. It's in
sense.
Anaheim. It's in Anaheim, dude. Everyone's just gonna come over the border. It's gonna be filled with the flags, Mexican
Okay.
flags.
But that's my point
Cameroon.
exactly. This should have been the headline event, not this.
No, I think
No, I
I
don't
think the
agree.
UFC is playing their cards here, right? Because you have to look at boxing, heavyweight boxing. Those are always the
Boxing
biggest
is
fights ever.
garbage.
No, but what I'm saying,
Worst
that's where
sport
they
ever,
sell the
dude.
most. They've been hyping this fight up for so long, even before Cyril Gane got the interim champ. They've been hyping it up, and now you have all the drama with Fernando Lopez. Dude, they're pushing this fight so hard. The coach, the ex-coach of Francis and Cyril, current coach of Cyril, ex of Francis and France. There's a lot of drama with the sparring tapes and him not paying his membership fees or whatever. But it's so much drama they're building behind this. But honestly, I have no idea who's going to win. I mean,
I don't
Francis
know
could
either.
easily
I
just
keep
KO.
flip flopping.
Yeah, same here. Initially, I was like, all right, Francis all day. But now with all this drama, he doesn't have a new contract. He wants to box. He's making a big deal about everything. 500K is a lot of money, dude, because plus you're getting a win. But I don't know. There's so much drama and stuff behind it. I don't know who's going to win. There's a weight difference here. I don't know if that matters for Cyril. This is going to be a fun fight.
We'll save the rest for our previews.
Yeah, but hold on. I want to go back to forget the fight. I want to go back to the point I was making. Again, I'm serious, man. Think about it. It doesn't make sense. Like for the UFC, even like if you're because the only thing I could think of is you schedule this one before this one because everybody that watches this one might stay to watch this. But then I'm like, okay, but then you should have put this first so that everybody stays to watch it. Like it doesn't make sense to me. I think viewership number wise, the reason you're gonna get the numbers you're gonna get is because of this fight, not this one. So why the hell is this the one that's headlining?
I don't think I agree with that.
I think you're completely wrong, bro. That means you've never watched a soccer game in your life, dude. Mexicans and Brazilians are diehards for their fighters, their sports players. They
First
show
ever
up.
Mexican-born champ.
Come on, man. You're gonna tell me that this is not the reason why people are gonna be watching this pay-per-view?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
No, the hype
For
behind this
true
fight is
MMA
way too
fans,
much.
For true MMA fans, I can see. Okay, we know who these guys are. Yes, but we're talking like actual casuals, not just like not just this. Like actual casuals who are going to be tuning into the pay per view will be for this fight. I promise you that. Oh, Louis,
Got my headphones on.
can you see
Pirate
me?
dog. No, you can't.
This is the Fork Road mascot, guys. He's got one eye. He was a little too casual.
Alrighty, that's Vegas 46. Do you guys have any parting words on a mostly underwhelming card?
Nah. I mean, Borshev was the one
Nah.
standout and the main. That's it.
Well, thank you, Slava Claus. Thank you, Cater, for an absolute. Well, Giga too. But thank you for
Yeah.
shutting up, Giga.
Now we just need to shut up
Thank you.
Bilal.
Yeah, now please don't. Someone take away Twitter from Bilal. Jesus Christ.
Oh, you
Someone
hater.
All right, cool. Thanks.
All right, on to the pay-per-view.
On to the pay-per-view.